How is everybody doing today? What is up, my dudes? So welcome to Shenanigans and More. Uh, Fun little fact I found out recently. There's apparently already a Shenanigans YouTube thing, but shout out to them. So this is Shenanigans and More, and we're here to talk about shenanigans and different kind of crap all the time. But today's episode was a continuation, sorta. Well, more like a whole new episode, but a continuation of last week's men and the struggle of self-love, and this time is women and the struggle of self-love, and it was very interesting. That is also the reason why today's look, I wanted to remind myself without any makeup and to look beautiful and to feel beautiful and to appreciate myself as to what it means to me to love myself and appreciate how I look, and without the makeup, with it, like women are still beautiful with makeup. I'm not saying that women shouldn't wear makeup or women who wear makeup are not beautiful, but I think it's important to self-reflect on this is who you are, I woke up like this, except for I washed my face so I wouldn't have eye boogies. I think I still do. And I just decorated my body with things that make me happy and that make me feel like I am beautiful, and that reflects today's episode. Anyway, enough about that. So I did the same thing and went and asked women, beautiful women who are my very dear friends, who are my very dear family, and who I care the most about. Shout out to all of you. Thank you guys so much for your help and your information and your stories and entrusting me with that. And that was very important. And I'm not sure if I got to say that for my men, but thank you so much. Thanks a million to all of you who are being open about it and trusting me, confiding in me. I don't know if that's the word that I'm looking for, and giving me all their beautiful stories and telling me all the struggles and the real way it is. Enough about that. So I asked a couple of my women same questions, and I love the difference between women and men of the people who I asked, because I would get like basically yes and no answers from my guys, and like a full essay from my women, which either answer is fine. I appreciate either answer. There is no wrong answer here, because this is what you guys think, and I really appreciate it regardless of how long your answer was, of your answers, period, because it made me, give me a perspective into how people, and mostly because most of you guys are my generation, of what my generation thinks about self-love and all that fun stuff. If I look any weirder with my tone color, it's because of the light that I'm using. I keep feeling like I look like really pale or something. Anyways, so I asked my beautiful women, what does self-love mean? Do you love yourself? Do you have a routine to remind yourself to love yourself? For those of you who didn't watch the other episode. And were you taught to love yourself, or did you have to learn that along the way? Another thing that I asked, and I asked everyone this, but was there anything physical or personality that others made you feel bad about that you didn't necessarily not liked about yourself, and what would you tell your younger self about self-love? These answers have been amazing, and I love them, and I appreciate you guys all. I know I keep saying that. It's true. It definitely has taught me a lot of things, and I very much appreciate it, and it very much is going to teach our viewers, one, that like, you may be going through the same thing. You may think to yourself these things and not know why, and think that the way you answer to yourself, or the way that you try to fix what you're saying to yourself, it's dumb, but it's not, and we are all going through it. We are all just not talking about it. So here we go. My dear friend said, self-love is accepting yourself for who you are, and seeing that you and nobody is perfect, and that's okay. And just try to work on yourself to be a better you every day. I feel like I do love myself, but I have to learn but she had to learn as she got older. That was never a topic that was brought up with, that she was brought up with. And even till this day, honestly, I don't think I have a routine to remind me to do so. But when I do stuff that I like or makes me feel happy, that reminds me that it's okay to love yourself. That's what she does that makes her feel like it's okay to love herself. In case I'm just reading these wrong, I'm sorry. I think some people told me that she appears to be cocky or selfish, but that never affected her. She learned that it was okay not to be like others. She's young. She's not super young, but she's younger than me. Just kidding. Love you. But she's young to have already this perspective of like, even if she seems arrogant, if she seems cocky, there's a lot of cattiness between us women, which I hope we can change, at least like to teaching our children for the most part. To self-love, making it seem like we're cocky. Like I explained in my last video, one thing is to be arrogant and to think that you have to belittle others in order for you to feel higher. And another thing is to feel confident and feel sure and be ready to tell others that this is who you are. And if they don't like it, then too bad, This is another friend of mine. Making yourself a priority. That's what self-love means to her. Taking care of your body. It may be physical, emotional, or spiritually. It also means accepting your weakness, strengths, and everything. And everything in between. I do love myself, but sometimes I do get caught up and forget about me or hate what I see in the morning, but have to keep trying and keep going. My routine is my workout. Not only does it make me feel good, but it gives me life and happiness. I've done it all my life. It's a part of me. I pamper myself with spa days. Hey girl, get that spa. I was self-taught. It took a while, actually, but if you don't love yourself, how can you love someone else, right? I would advise my younger self that you are special and you deserve everything and more. To be patient and kind to yourself, to be happy with your entire self, know you are worthy, and figure yourself out. The thing people made me feel bad about myself was that the more in shape I got, the more I was criticized. Typical Latino move. ¿Por qué estás tan flaca? Because it makes me feel good, damn it. Don't let others kill your vibe. Keep doing what makes you feel good. And this is one of the things that I personally struggle. Like, I always thought that the fitter girls that were prettier and that, like, my very dear friend, no hate, baby, I love you. But I always thought, like, they got their shit together. Like, they work on themselves, they work out, and, like, maybe that's what I need to do to, like, feel better and to do better and stuff. And, like, I struggled with that, like, not, like, hating on them, but, like, envying them because they had that will, that determination to be skinny. But never did I realize that regardless whether you're skinny or big, like, people are gonna talk, people are gonna talk shenanigans and hate on you. The self-taught thing, it's part of the life struggle and part of becoming who you are and figuring out who you are. And, I can't believe this person. I love you very much. I hope you know that. But I can't believe that there are days where you don't like yourself. I love you. Or where you don't like what you see in the morning. I love you. And you're an amazing woman. And you don't understand. I knew this episode was going to be hard. You don't understand how much I look up to you. You mean so much to me, and you have become this amazing woman that I look up to. So don't struggle. Don't hate yourself when on the days that you don't feel so well. Don't be so hard on yourself. I love you very much, and you're an amazing woman. And your message is going to help somebody. Your story is going to help somebody, and it's going to make them feel better about themselves and about working out. If that makes you feel good, if that helps you every day, get out of your head, do it. Do it, girls. Do it. My friend here, self-love is to know your worth. To never let anyone disrespect you. And if they do, to remember what they say or do isn't about you. I thought I loved myself, but I realized that I don't. I do have to remind myself that I am worthy, that I am great, that I'm a great person, a great woman, a mother, and a great wife. When I started thinking negative thoughts and and start comparing myself to another woman, or someone else that thinks they're or someone mentions that that other person is better than me, I start to think, well, yeah, but I have a good heart, and that matters. My heart will never change, even if my physical can and will. No, she was not self-taught to love herself. She had to learn the hard way. People all my life have talked shit about my weight. I've always been thick. I would tell my younger self that I could be anything and anything I want to be, and don't let anyone define me. To not listen to anyone's disrespect words to define me. I love this person too. I love all of you guys. Oh my god. I actually have tissue right next to me because I knew that this was going to be a hard episode. I love you too very, very much. If I don't say I love you after your story, it doesn't mean that I don't love you. I know these women need to hear that they are worthy. They are strong. They are beautiful. And they deserve good things. And we all do. You know, we have to remind ourselves every day that we don't deserve to be disrespected in any way. You know, we deserve to be loved by our partners, and that in our families, and just people all around us, like, that we keep. You know, you are worthy, and I'm glad that you know your worth, and I'm glad that you're working on yourself, and that you're reminding yourself that you get to have hobbies, and enjoy yourself and be yourself. I love you. My friend here said, giving myself me time and putting yourself first, even if it may seem selfish to others. This answer was beautiful. She was, yes, I was always loved by others, parents and siblings, which made it easy to love myself. You are blessed, dude. You are lucky. Not all of us have that, or grew up with that, like learning that your family could back you up, or that they loved you and you got to love yourself and learned easy how that could come to you. You know, I'm very, very happy for you. For her routine, she has a self-care routine. She didn't give me more specifics on that, but pretty much I'm sure it's like, you know, taking care of oneself, taking care of the skin. I know I keep bringing up the skin if you saw my last video, but it's a part of you. You know, sometimes I hate lotion. TMI. But I hate lotion. I just hate the way it makes me feel. I don't know, it's so weird. But I guess like putting it on, I don't know. But there are days that I take to myself and I like lotion up myself because my body needs hydration. And I need to take care of myself. I think that's why I keep bringing up the skin stuff. I believe I was taught to live myself, always a reminder at home, and that's really pretty. She has always been very stubborn and stern, and was always told to give people chances and be nicer. That made me think I was being mean, and felt bad. She would tell her younger self to put yourself first, and you know, that's a good reminder every time to like always. Sometimes I feel like not just manipulation, even from family. But this is when I'm always talking about boundaries. Like, we have to teach our people, just like at work, you know, that there's boundaries. There's certain things and certain jokes or certain behaviors that you're not accepting and that you don't need. Like, just jokes about your weight, jokes about your hair, jokes about, anything, you know. They may think it's funny and that it's okay, but they don't understand how that makes you feel or how that affects you, like, directly. But yeah, dude, or the same thing where I was headed at, I forgot my point, was that if you set these boundaries, people will understand that you put yourself first. Therefore, it's important to you, that you put yourself first, and it won't seem so selfish. And even if it seems selfish, fuck that. Like, you don't understand. You don't know. I may be having a bad day, and I need this like Saturday to myself. Yeah, I can't go to your party. Sorry, but I have to take care of myself. And if I had a long weekend, this is gonna be my only day to take care of myself and pamper myself, and like my friend do spa day. Yeah, deal with it. Oh well. This one took me a little bit off guard, and I love you too. And I'm learning to be your friend, because we haven't spent enough time together to know very much about each other. But I appreciate your answer. She said, I have never asked myself that question. I suffered from domestic violence to a younger man, and I would never say nothing until it was too late. To ask myself to love me. So I got out for my kids and trying not to make the same mistake again. I was lucky to find a wonderful man now who respects my kids and loves me. The other guy would be ashamed of me. Now my man tells me that I am beautiful with or without makeup, and I feel loved, and but it's something that I struggle with every day. So, I feel like people, regardless of whether you're a man or a woman, like, people who are abusive, like, sometimes, I don't know how they know, but they know, like, that you're struggling sometimes, or that, like, that those are your weakness, and they take advantage of that, and so that's one of the things that happens, in domestic violence and toxic relationships, where like people know that you have a thing about your hair, you losing your hair, and they always like comment about that, and they always kind of control you with that, about your weight, about how other women are skinnier and they're prettier because they're skinnier and you're not, or about how you're too skinny and you don't have meat to grab onto and stuff like that, yet they're your partners and they're with you. Like, we can't, if we are strong ourselves, if we learn every day to take care of ourselves and to love ourselves, like, fuck what you think. And another thing is, like, bye. It's not easy. It's never easy to leave a relationship and a situation, especially if you have kids. I understand that. I don't have kids myself, but I understand that. But, love yourself, take care of yourself, and like, those people will just remove themselves, or you will remove them out of your way. They're unnecessary. You don't need someone who is telling you one day you're pretty and the next that you're not, and using that exact same statement to make you feel like you're not worthy. You are worthy. You're strong. And I would gladly like to make an entire episode on domestic abuse, and share with you guys that it's not just women who go through this. We always have this like idea or agenda that it's just like a woman thing, that only men abuse women, but it's not. There's a lot of LGBTQ people out there who suffer this all the time, and people judge it and don't help, or don't take it seriously. And everyone can suffer. Men can suffer from being abused in heterosexual relationships. Like, there are women who would hurt people, like their partner and their children and stuff. And like, well, I'm going to make an entire episode about that. I promise. I want to be able to find the resources that I need for anyone who needs help. And I will more than gladly give you guys all that information. But for now, let's continue with loving yourself. I can't do justice to my beautiful friend's story here, because it would just, I feel like I would take too much of our time, and I have a lot of stories to tell, but I love you, and thank you for trusting me with your story. So here we go. I think self-love is the action of putting your health first, whether it be physical health, mental health, or spiritual health, all of the above and more. I don't believe there is one true definition, but it reflects differently depending on the individual, what their needs are and situations. Small pleasures can be self-love. If I'm honest, I don't love myself. There are moments where I love my life and everything good that it has to offer, but I am quick to indulge myself with things that bring me joy at the moment, but that is not necessarily happiness or love. I struggle a lot with mental health because of my traumas. There are days I hate my life and I live in my head replaying things that have happened to me or things that I've done. There have been times I want to end it, but I believe one day I can heal and start loving myself for real instead of having moments of ecstasy. But that day will come when I decide to invest in my mental health and go to therapy. I would have loved to learn from my parents to self-love as a child, but I learned about it through the internet and social media, the waves of empowerment. I don't blame them because they barely had time to love themselves, let alone show me. I was bullied as a child, and it took me to be silenced because of a mean girl. I was a shy kid. This is what I mean I didn't do justice, because I didn't get to tell the whole story. She entrusted me with it. I wasn't entirely sure that it could be shared, but bullying is a serious thing, and at a really young age it can do a lot of damage to one person's self-development. I would tell my younger self to not listen to what happened to not listen to what people have to say about you, because they don't matter and you will never see them again. Being social inept and full of anxiety made me really weird growing up. I made terrible decisions that I regret, and they follow me to this day because of how I let my confidence and feeling of self-worth get. If I would have ignored that girl, I think my life would be different right now. I would treat myself nicely and get that help. I love you. I love all of you, but I love you. If there's ever a time where that thought comes, you can call me. I honestly am that friend. Not because I'm trying to we talked about it personally, like, but I don't care if this is like on YouTube and other people can see this. I'm that friend that you can call. And I'm not doing it for people to think that I'm cool. I love you and you're very important to me, and if you ever have that thought and if you ever have that feeling, you can call me and I'll come to you, or I can just be on the phone with you, because you matter to me and I love you very much. And I hope that soon you can find that self-love and you can find that way to get help, because you deserve it and you deserve to be happy, and that person doesn't even matter anymore. My other friend said, I wish I could help, but I don't know anything about self-love. And I decided to input her comment because I really thought I was going to get this kind of comment more from men, and men surprised me a lot. And I was very happy to be surprised, but it also kind of made me really sad that my friend has no idea about it. I hope this video helps you to understand what other women are going through and what other women have to say about self-love. And this is something we get to work on every day. We have to work on ourselves every day in order to love our husbands, our children, our families, any friends. It matters, and you matter, and you're very important to those people around you, to me, and I hope you get to start your journey on self-love and that this video helps. I love this person too. I love all of you guys. Anyways, honestly, I couldn't answer this, and it bugged me, what self-love means to her. But I think it's because I'm not quite there yet to understand what it means to me, which is perfectly fine. As long as you have now been inspired to look and think and see. I hope this helps. Video helps you to hear what other women have to say and how they deal with their personal struggle about it and how they think about themselves and how they love themselves, and that you get some help with your journey. So it said, do you love yourself? But she said, no, but it's something I'm working on. I'm aware that I don't, and the damage it does to me. She doesn't have a routine. The most I do is try to remember not to be hard on myself, and that's already enough. Like, it's hard to do that. It's hard not to fall into the same routine of like, well, I'm not even pretty. Well, my cousin said that I'm bigger than she ever was, you know, or oh, my ex-boyfriend used to tell me that my hairline is ugly, or anything. Like, as long as you already have something like this input in your brain, to not be so hard on yourself every day, or to not demand yourself so much. I struggle with my personal demands. Like I said on my last video, my standards for myself are so high that I hurt myself when I'm just like, I didn't do that right. You know, I'm dumb. Why couldn't I get to that? Why couldn't I do that? Or things that like I tell myself that are just like completely harsh. Like, I wouldn't tell my friends that. Why would I tell myself that? Why would I hurt myself? And like I said in the last video, like, your personal love too is also like being a friend with yourself. And if you wouldn't tell your friend, that hair looks so ugly, like, why would I tell myself that? Why would I hurt myself like that? So you already got like half the battle by just reminding yourself not to be hard on yourself. Were you brought up with it? Half and half. I was taught to always stand up for myself and trust my feelings. I was taught to put myself and goals before men and having children, but I have learned there is so much more than those things. So I'm trying to learn as she goes along the way. I wish my parents would have taught me that. I mean, they kind of did. They had goals for me, you know, but then I was always told, like, oh, this is embarrassing. I was always told, like, get yourself a gringo, a white man. You know, go to like a school where you can find white men, and like, so you can marry one. And so it was just kind of like, what? So I can only be important if I have a white husband? Or a husband? That's not really good to teach your children. That shouldn't have been my like priority in my mind, or like, you know, my parents expected that from me. More specifically, my father. But he's not in the picture, so who cares? Anyways, I'm not gonna ruin my girls here thing, but that's really cool, man. That's really cool that that's what they taught you. She has always been called out for her weight and have been told that she's bigger than she needs to be. You are not. I'm bigger than I need to be. And I'm working on it. Just because of health reasons, not because of what other people think. So fuck what other people think. As long as you're healthy, as long as you're happy, as long as you're beautiful, which you are, fuck that. And if she could tell her younger self something, she would tell that it's okay to fail as long as you keep going and you and also to let people in. That is part of what we were talking about in the men's self-love. That self-love, yes, means to love yourself, but it also means to allow yourself, to remind yourself that you are deserving of love, to be loved, you know, to allow people in and let yourself be loved and be cuddled and be like, you know, pampered and kissed and stuff. Have them kiss your butt. Have them caress your feet and like hug you tightly. I love this person. I love all of you guys, like I keep saying. I love this person and her answers. I love this person. Self-love to me means taking time, our most valuable resource, as well as other resources like money and energy for myself. Taking the time to figure out what makes me feel good and healthy, and investing that. For me, it's exercise, reading, having new experiences, doing something that makes me feel beautiful, writing, and even taking time to do nothing at all. It also self-compassion and forgiveness, trying not to be so hard on myself, like I wouldn't be on a friend. Love for myself is a work in progress, and it's a daily choice. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I'm not so kind to myself. I learned meditation a few years ago and haven't been practicing, but it helps. Also, when I look in the mirror, I try to say kind things to myself. I budget health fund, beauty, money every month, and when I catch myself thinking I'm stupid, I'm so weak, I correct it, even if it feels fake at first. I say, I got this, I'm smart, I'm strong, etc. Because thoughts have power. I don't think I've learned a lot about self-love as a child. I remember thinking I was fat when I was 8 years old and trying diets, having a hard time when a boy didn't like me. I have lived for other people's compliments. It wasn't until my 20s that I started seeking internal validation and self-love. And I think this is one of the honest, truest things that, sometimes it wasn't specifically that maybe her family told her anything, but sometimes us as children, like, especially in the Latino community, we call chaparro, we call gordo, we call gorda, and we make fun of it, and we don't understand the damage it could be causing in our minds, and to our children, like the self-love that we are not teaching them by saying those things to them and humiliating them, or like, hurting them that way. Like, I remember like always being called gordita or gorda or something, and like now it's just like my mom's nickname, and my abuelita, she used to call me that too because my mom would do it so often. But I know that when it was coming from her, it was coming from love. It wasn't coming like to affect me. But I was like by my parents too, like when I was little. I'm talking like little, like anything before 10 years old. Like I remember it being like them trying to grab my tummy, or when we would try on new clothes, like that, like I would get those things, and like, you're a child, you still have your baby weight, like that's gonna change once you hit puberty, that your body keeps changing all the time. And like a little kid, unless it's like health wise, like obesity health wise, like a little kid should not think at 8 years old that you're fat and that you're not pretty because of it. I love you very much, and I hope you continue to do your self-care and your self-love routine and everything that you do, because I can understand that. I can understand how like you could be a little kid and think like that you're fat, which is kind of crazy. I would tell my younger self that haters gonna hate, and my opinion of myself is the most important, not others. I would teach little me to stop and think when I have a negative thoughts, like I'm ugly, and ask me, what evidence do I have? Would I treat a friend like that? And it goes back to what we were talking about you guys treating other people like, your friends, like, oh my god, don't think like that, you are awesome, everything you did, even if you failed, like you did your best, that's the best you could do, and like, you can try again the next time, and like, how can your boyfriend tell you that, like, you're beautiful? Like, same thing to ourselves, like, I had a post recently, like a couple weeks ago, I wasn't wearing exactly a crop top, but one of my exes told me that girls like me, meaning heavy, meaning thick, meaning gorditas, uh, could not wear crop tops. And I found all these like plus size model things on Instagram, and I'm just like, these girls are beautiful. Like, what are you talking about? Girls like me can't wear crop tops. Like, we can fucking pull it off. And I don't care if you see my stretch marks. I don't care if you see my lonja. Like, if it makes me feel good, then I'm good. Like, you need to be, that's why he's an ex, because you needed to go. Like, I felt really bad that like he said that to me, and I didn't really let it get to me, but because by then I was this grown. By then I knew that I do not have to let like people like him and comments like that get to me, because I'm beautiful whether he thinks it or not. Decided to take my personal time to write out what I thought about self-love, because it's easier to write out my thoughts than to just come on here and like tell you guys, because then I'll forget things. So to me, what I started to write was that self-love to me is dedicating something to yourself, as in doing something you like, taking care of your body, face, sleeping what is necessary for your health, listening to the music that you like, and going deep into yourself to process what goes on. But that's because that's how I see it now. That I'm a grown person, that I'm learning, I'm working on my spirituality, and I'm doing different things and different routines to help myself. A lot of things that I learned from all of these beautiful women, and like, because I surround myself with these beautiful women, and like I'm attracted to people who want to better themselves, and that's kind of, I feel like, how unconsciously, like, that's how I make my friends. But then I got into the part where I was reminded that I was an overweight child, and that I dealt with all of that, and that there were times where some of the friends that I told their stories about were prettier than me while growing up, were attracting more boys than me while growing up, and that affected me. They don't know that. I never told them, but that affected me directly to my self-love. Sometimes as women, or even men, experience a little bit of like envy, or like the self-doubt, because you're not sure about yourself, you don't love yourself, to not be insecure. But there were times where I was like, why do they like them better than me? Why are they prettier than me and I'm not? Or why am I so big? And I used to really have like hurtful things to say about myself. Also, a lot of you guys don't know, and I don't talk about, I haven't made the episode that I really wanted to make this video for, this entire podcast thing for, was for a condition that I have that to me is really important that other women know about. And not knowing what it was before I was officially diagnosed, and hurting myself about the thoughts and things that wouldn't happen or would happen to my body, were hard to digest and understand, and self-love. So yes, I've actually, and now I was thinking like, oh, like, I can't believe people went through that. But then like thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute, like, this loving me is not like loving Alex like 10 years ago, or like 15 years ago. I feel like I was always very confident. Like, I always like, wanted to, I always wanted to feel better about myself, but like it was, and some of it, when I was brought up, like, some of it like was more like seeing my mother struggle with her personal self-love was some of the things that gave me the reasons what not to do and how to not do, like, the self-love. But yeah, like, there were often times where other women and not just my friends, like, made me feel like I wasn't pretty, or like I wasn't worth it. And not necessarily with their comments, it was more like with myself, intimidation, or like my insecurities, that like they just seemed like they were prettier, like they had their shit together, and I didn't. Like they had a secret like they had a secret cheat sheet sort of to like going through life, and I didn't, you know. And now with all of these messages and all of these stories, like kind of made me realize that, nah, man, we're all just going through it like raw. We're just taking it raw, and like we all kind of just have to figure it out. And yeah, some of us were able to be taught by our parents, but at the end of the day, there's always other people who hurt you and who can say mean things and like fuck us over, you know. Enough. So one of the things that I had to learn early on was that, and I hope this helps you girls or you guys in general, is that oftentimes people's negative comments towards you about your hair, about your height, about your weight, about your stature, about how much money you make, about how hard you work, about how your job is, or whatever the fuck it is, like oftentimes people are just reflecting on you. Like their comments, their negative comments, are things that they don't like about themselves, and that they might see that you're doing good at and might hate on it. Like for my dear friend who had a story about the fitter that she was, the more things that people would say. Like that's because they're hating on you, sister. Like they can't do the weight loss. They can't do they wish that at your age they had what you have, or they did what you do, or they had the goals that you had, the mindset that you have. Like anything and everything that they have to say, majority of the time is them hating on it because they don't see it on themselves, because they didn't get to do that for themselves, because they didn't get to be who they wanted to be. And you did, you know? So don't take it personal. I learned not to take it personal, because oftentimes that person that I love very much who would say those things to me was going through her own struggle and was going through her own like journey of self-love, and was only reflecting on me and deflecting, or I don't know what the right word is, but like it wasn't about me. Even if it hurt me, even if it made me second guess myself or myself, it wasn't about me. So don't take all their comments too personal, because it's not about you, it's about them. And I like to be weird. I've always been like a really weird child, and I like to be weird. I feel like that's what makes me unique. But since I struggled so much growing up through the whole like shaming of my body, like I've always been the bigger girl. I've always been in my family with my friends, and at my age stages, like now I look at pictures and I'm like, man, I wish I was as fat as I thought I was at 15. Like, man, I wish I was as fat as I thought I was at 23. Like now I just want to focus on being healthy. You know, I don't care if like my auntie thinks I'm too fat, or I don't care if like my ex-boyfriend thinks that I shouldn't wear crop tops. As long as I'm healthy and I'm working on myself, and I get to do what makes me happy, and if that means working out, if that means eating better, then it means that, you know. But fuck what they think. They're not gonna make me take care of myself. That didn't make sense. They're not gonna make me not take care of myself, or make me like hurt myself and hate myself. This is really funny. One of the things that I like to share, and this is too much, but one of the things that I find it really funny is that I love my skin for what it is. I don't think yes, I was ashamed when I was young. Like, I was like going through my self love thing, but I was ashamed, like, more like when people made me attack like specific parts of my body, but never to be naked. Like, anyone who has been my sexual partner can tell you that. He probably wouldn't tell you, but he can tell you that I don't care about walking around naked. Like, this is me. All of this, like, whatever it is that I have, it's me. And I love myself. And maybe people out there might change their opinion and like have something to say about it. Um, and maybe I have said bad comments about myself at some point, but right now, like, this is me and I love this. Like, every single part, even the parts that I don't like. The parts that I struggle with, not that I don't like, the parts that I struggle with to care for or to think, it's like, one of my exes, what kind of dirtbags did I date? One of my exes told me once a really rude comment about my feet, and I don't have the most beautiful feet. You know, I try to take care of them, I do. But going to take care of them, I got fungi on one of my toenails because I was going to like those pedicure places, and someone used like an infected thing on my toenail and it got it infected. And so like I've been dealing with that for a while now, and like I can't believe I'm talking about this. And he had a bad comment to say about it. So now all the time when I'm about to have sex, or when I'm like, you know, trying to be sexy in the bedroom with my partner, whoever my partner is at the moment, like, I could be completely naked and I could be dancing and joking around naked, but I'll be wearing socks. So I'm working on that, and I'm working on my feet and taking care of them, and like I'm working on loving myself, every part of me. But I have all these other things that like people can comment on and might think negative things about themselves, but I don't like my feet. Like, I have a struggle with my feet, and it seems really silly to me, but I do, and it makes me self-conscious when I'm naked and I'm trying to get, you know, fun with my partner and stuff, and it's just like, what the hell? Like, you know, you don't even know. It could be your fucking belly button. It could be your dark nipples, or your light nipples, or your little whatever. Like, anything that you don't like about yourself can seem so silly to anyone else or your partner, and like, you know, I think it's kind of cute that like my dude's like, dude, just take them off. Like, what the hell? Like, I don't care. You know, it's just like silly. And I'm just like, yeah, but no, like, but yeah, I could completely be walking around naked and like super confident and feeling super sexy about my entire body, even if I'm not at the size that I want to be for my health reasons. But I just won't take my socks off, so I gotta work on that. There's so many things that I could talk about and sitting here all day about myself, because I love myself and I love talking about myself, but I won't. Also, this video might be extended super long if and I don't want that. But anyways, guys, girls, dudes, I love you all. Thank you so much for all of your help about this. Oh, I did go on the internet and try to get us some advice, but I felt like all of your stories are going to be able to help someone. They're going to identify with your story and help, I hope, these women and these girls to, you know, not be so hard on themselves, to like tell themselves pretty words all the time and stuff. Oh, and one of the things that I practice, thank you to my beautiful friend who did this, you know who you are, is that one time in a letter, because we do pen pals, I know it's so old, but we haven't done it in a while, but we used to do pen pals, and she sent me this like little post-it that said, you are beautiful, and it had a little flower, and she told me how she used it to herself to paste it on her mirror in the morning, when in her mirror, I mean, in the mornings, like where she would go brush her teeth and like wash her face and look up at it all the time. And that was her daily self reminder to remind herself that she is beautiful. And I kept that and I did that and I pasted it on my mirror, and it got me through some hard days, some really harsh days where like I needed to remind myself that I am beautiful, and that no matter what my exes thought or what anyone else had to say about it, like I'm beautiful and I matter, and I get to have fun and I get to take care of myself. I guess I also forgot to tell you guys my daily routine real quick. My daily routine is at night. I like to take showers at night. So I shower at night. I make sure I put on drench myself in lotion. I don't drench myself in lotion. I hate lotion. But I make sure that my face is taken care of, that I'm hydrated, that I started doing the smoothie juicing thing, whatever, and I do that, and I'm like, those of you who have me on Instagram have seen that I like try to incorporate like working out. Even it doesn't matter the time. Like some people get lazy and say, "Oh, I can only do it in the mornings." Like I try to force myself that it doesn't matter what time, because I want to get it done and I want to make sure that I get it done. Now that I have a job, yay, guys! I have a job. Now that I have a job, excuse me, I'm gonna have to figure out a schedule, how to go about it, and how to be able to still do this with you guys and stuff. But I want that to be a part of my routine now. But part of my routine before was to love to do what I do, like read music. Music is one of the things that, if you have me on Instagram, you'll know that music saves my life. Like if I had to go without, I pay for my music. I don't care. You can judge me. I listen to, I use this app. I don't know if I can say names. So I use this app that I pay for monthly, and it has like nonstop. I get to make my own playlist, and like I have playlists for my moods. Like if I'm feeling Mexican today, if I'm feeling chill today, if I have this whole playlist titled Alex, because some days I just feel like me, and it's a mix of like everything, and some days I just want to chill, and it's like thoughtful Alex, writing down on journals and stuff. I do journals too. I'm not like super routine about it all the time, but it helps me, like my friend said, kind of jot down things I'm thankful for, and things that that I need to remind myself of, which is very important. I used to do this. I haven't done it because of COVID, but I used to do this, like, not just because I wanted to give love to my mom, but I used to take my mom on dates. And not just because, like, I wanted to show her love, but because I wanted to show myself love. Like, being okay with her, and my relationship with her matters to me so much that I wanted to be able to take her out and show her my love for her and how grateful I am for her, and how fucking blessed I am to have her, and that she's my best friend, and that I can talk to her and tell her all these things. And so that makes me feel good, and that's part of my routine. What I do to show myself love is to be grateful to my mother and to show her that I care about her so much. So I hope that anything and everything that was said today and on my last video, that you guys that it helps you in some way, and that you don't feel so lost and so alone, and that you know that you're not that one person in the classroom who doesn't dare to ask the questions, because we're all lost. We all have to find our own way and our own route, and you're not the first who doesn't know where to do or what the fuck it means to be an adult. And if you're not an adult yet, then you probably shouldn't be watching all my videos. But this one I recommend, because the earlier you know that all of us as women struggle every day with the beauty standards of society, with the beauty standards of social media and magazines and Hollywood and all that crap, which I did not really get to touch on, but like with all these things, like you are not alone. You know, in the era of social media, it's so hard, but there are so much stuff that we can find on the internet. And like I said, I didn't actually go on it because I feel like we had enough information from our girls on how to help, and how to be, self-loving, and the struggles that we all went through, you know, to get to where we are. Um, the reason why I didn't is because there's so much. It was crazy because when I went on to find men's like motivations and stuff like that, most of the articles had 5, 6 like things that can help men with self-love and all these things. And then when I looked up for women, there was like 13 reasons why, 17 women tell you what the thing about self-love and all these things. And I'm just like, wow, yay for us, you know, we have a lot of help and all these things, and yet a lot of us are still like taking each other down, you know. One thing I want to close with is love yourself, take care of yourself, treat yourself like you would treat a friend. And with my last comment about like how we tear each other down as women, let's build each other up. If I'm beautiful, you're beautiful in your own way, and you deserve to be happy, and you deserve everything, and you are worthy. Let's not tear each other down. If I wouldn't tell you that dress makes you look fat, and hate on it because you look good, don't do that to me, because we need to build each other up. We are stronger when we are together by building each other up and giving each other props and telling each other beautiful things and meaning them, you know? I mean, you don't have to like that my hair is purple. You may think I'm childish, but if that's what makes me happy, if that's what makes me me, then just say, dude, you look cool. Like, I like you for who you are. You know, there's no reason to tear each other down. I hope this video helps any of you, all of you. I love you guys so much. I love for all the love and support you guys are showing with all the views. And that thumbs up, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I really thought it was annoying when people would say that, but now I know how it matters. Hit that little bell and follow us, and we shall have very more fun and not so like internally and tearing up and dramatic episodes for next week and for the following. But this needed to be done, and it's important. It's important for me. It was important for me so that I can set it up as a guideline, as a base as to what this whole shenanigans is about. And I wanted you guys to know that I'm not just here to tell you how pretty I am and how cool I am with my videos and stuff. Like, it's not about that. It's about sending out a message to help other people who have struggled like I struggled, who I wish, like, this is like so that I wish I could tell my little self this now. I wish I could share these stories of like other women who have going through it while I was little, and I was like, had no fucking clue what I had to do to make myself happy. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support and for helping me with your stories, and we shall help other women and other girls understand the struggle, and that we're not alone. We're all going through it. And yeah, I could keep going. I could keep talking for days, so let's not. Love you guys. Oh yeah, next week's episode is about masturbation. My videos may not be for everybody, and I already heard of people who are getting offended and who are not liking them. It was meant to be. I knew that there were going to be people who didn't like it, but if you don't like it, then you don't have to watch it. Sorry, I have to be honest. This is for people who identify, who think that it's important, or who have no idea what the fuck is going on and that other people do it. So, masturbation. Can't wait for that episode. I am so excited, but kind of scared to confess my deepest, darkest secrets. Woo! My brother's gonna hate me. Love you guys. Bye.